Hi. I want to share a couple of other flowish style journals that I've made recently before I pop them into the mail. And I've had a really fun time, and those of you who've watched my channel before know that I'm a huge junk journal person. And so I love the fact that a flowish journal is based on Flow magazine, which is a magazine for paper lovers. And it's really a great little magazine. Quite pricey, I might add. But if you're a scrapbooker or make journals, it gives you really unique papers, and they have all different style stuff. You should look them up online. These journals I'm making in a group called Trashy Junk Journals, and it's a group that was started by Rosemary Morris, and you should check her channel out. I'll put a link to it in the box below. She's been a huge inspiration for me. Anyway, she came up with this idea, and so we're all making these journals, and I just want to share a couple that I've made recently. These are a little bit different than the ones I've made before because this time I really thought about it as more of a journal itself, even though it's primarily meant to be taken out, all the supplies taken out. I went to a used book sale and got a really neat book, and she can gesso the top of it, the person receiving it, or just use it as it is. I thought it was kind of fun. Inside, what I've done is I've taken some fabric samples, some upholstery samples, and created pockets. I sewed them prior to putting them in and then glued them on. And now they're filled with all kinds of things that I've either made or collected. Some library pockets that I've made out of used book pages. Bookmark from our local thrift store here. Also, this was actually a library pocket made from pages of this book. This one is jelly printed library pocket. This is envelopes made from book pages that I've made, and jelly printed envelopes made from magazine pages. A coin envelope out of a book page that I've made. Just some fun things for her to include in her journal. I did use that Tim Holtz tattered floral die and made a fabric flower out of upholstery fabric as well. And then I sewed a paper clip on the back for her to use it as a paper clip embellishment. What I'm finding in making these flow journals for myself is it really becomes a zen experience. Thinking about color and contrast. These are coffee table book pages. None of the books that I received, either the books were either throwaway books, ones that the library was letting go of, or ones I bought very inexpensively at yard sales. An old atlas. This is a page that I've made from a shopping bag, and I've sewn it together. And then what I've done is taken washi tape and just taped images that I've enjoyed. Inside you can see I made some coin envelopes, some little tiny envelopes, and some larger ones. I've made tags from packaging. It was supposed to be a swap of things that you have already in your home. Things that you are either going to discard or use for your own trashy junk journal. Once again, more, and I really loved this, making these little library pockets out of knitting instructions from the crafting book that I bought. Matte page library pockets, which I'm really fond of as well. I'm a pocket girl, as you can tell, and I enjoy making these little fun pockets for your junk journals. This one's filled with some scrapbooking paper that I love. I love patterning and design. This is a map from the inside of a travel magazine. Pages from a bird book, more pockets. These I really liked. These were made from a picture book, a coffee table style picture book that was being discarded. The spine was broken, was being discarded at the library. Went in and taped on the back of blank pages using washi tape so she can easily remove it. Just things that I enjoy. This time I sort of viewed this as if she didn't do anything to it. What would it be like? What would it appear like? And how would I like to receive it? And so for me, I tried to view it a little bit more like a journal and less of a supply journal. I love this page a lot. If you can see the color and the contrast of all these different pages poking through, the birds, the washi, the coffee table book, the patterned um, scrapbooking paper. This is the inside of an old book page as well, and a children's book. I just loved it. It makes you start to view everything that you have as being part of your journaling and your journey experience. I've made some coin envelopes out of magazine pages that I have. This is also a part of a magazine, and I just folded it over and put some washi. She can cut it apart or leave it as it is. This is once again one of those paper bags from the only craft store we have here in the Hawaiian Islands, at least on the island I live on, and it has a hibiscus flower, which is a state flower of Hawaii, and inside it I've put some napkins for her to use for her potential new journal covers. Made a handmade embellishment out of paper clip, the die cut from the Tattered Florals die flowers, and just some extra fabric bits. And that can be sewed on my sewing machine. And this is kind of a fun one too. It's made from tulle and some yarn bits, and just clipping on top of the bag here. If you haven't tried to make a flowish style or scrap paper stash style journal, I really recommend you do it. It becomes a really zen experience. Like, look at this. If you're into color and texture like I am, just look at the page diversity here and just how beautiful. The patterning of the scrapbooking paper, the children's book page. This is a geometry book, another book on top. It's just beautiful. Made some little tiny paper bags out of out of some really nice images from magazines and from book pages as well. She can glue those in her journal, put goodies in it. The more I make these journals, the more I just am in love with this style of journaling or creating to make your own junk journal. This you might find interesting. I didn't have a lot of bags or things to put stuff in, so I took my freezer paper and I sewed it on the sewing machine. I folded it a couple of times, so this one actually has, like, there's a pocket here, there's a pocket, it's got extra pockets, and then I just sewed on top or in the center of it some flowers, some fabric flowers. And inside I've used that same flower die and cut out a throwaway paper. I've made a lot of newspaper flowers lately, and this die is really, if you can only afford one die, buy that Tattered Florals die. It gives you a myriad of uses. Book page that has been jelly printed on, some embellishments that I've made from book pages as well, some flyers. In the back here is just some pages and calendar pages, old vintage book ephemera. The pocket was made out of a big coffee table book. The other side of the map from earlier. More goodies, some tags I've made from packaging, and book pages and library pockets made from used books as well. Tried not to leave any blank space in this book, and I think it turned out good. Once again, a fabric pocket. And I've put some flyers, and this goes inside of it as well, this little magazine. So this was Flowish Journal number 1. What I've also, and I just tied the signature with some fabric. And then I made a paper clip charm out of fabric, and I made some little tags. This is from a Tim Holtz Alterations die called Tab and Tags, which I love as well. This is my second Flowish junk journal to send out. I loved the cover of this book. When I took the book jacket off, I just loved it. I could see this being made into an amazing, amazing junk journal. Made my fabric pocket just like before. This is one of those paper bag flowers I was telling you that I made using the Tim Holtz die, Tattered Florals. Tim Holtz Tattered Florals die. And I've glued it and taped it with a piece of washi, the paper clip. Once again, another one of those little wax paper bags that I made filled with goodies. Similar style fillings, just beautiful little library pockets made from book pages, and as you can see, stuff that I live in a touristy area, so there's lots of touristy fun things to find here where I live. So let me give you a quick flip through another one of those little magazine shopping bag pages. I've made her a paper doll inside another bag with goodies. This is kind of fun. I've taken my wax paper and made a little embellishment, sewed it at the top. This is actually some reused bubble packaging that I used as a jelly printing stencil. So, as you can see, more paper bag flowers that I've glued on the front. I loved this. Had the return stamp from the library. A map page, and it has a pocket here. This I loved. I'm a huge animal lover. Just the way he's loving this little dog. I made a page out of it. Inside I filled the pocket with lots of little scrapbooking, some of my favorite scrapbooking paper that I cut to fit into the pocket. Another bag, this one was kind of interesting. I loved the page. The book was very old. It was from an old astronomy book. And I knew that the edges wouldn't hold up. So I went back and I took washi tape and I put it all the way around. And where the twine binding touched it, I reinforced it. And as you can see right here, I've taken some fabric swatches and put it in that area so that the twine binding won't tear through the page. And then I've put some paper clips to keep it, firmly in place so she can take it apart. More goodie pages with, little fun tags that I've made from packaging. This one I just clipped the fabric on top so she can use it any way she'd like. I made some collage coin envelopes, which I loved the pages, but sometimes when you fold them up, they don't actually match. So I went ahead and I went back and cut pieces of it up and reinforced the top, glued it inside because it would have just been words, and then tried to mimic some of the pages on top and glue some cool little collage style coin envelopes together. Some packaging just made from spice rack my husband bought me, and just used a die and cut it. Jelly print magazine pages, which I really enjoy, and then I go ahead and usually make envelopes with them. This is once again some pockets that I've made from, this is a dictionary and children's dictionary, And then I made some map pages, and then inside has some paper as well. Like I said before, I tried to start viewing this as if it was its own junk journal into itself, so that if she wanted to just leave it that way, she would have to secure the binding to it, or maybe sew the pages together if she liked it. But then it could be used as such. More little coin envelopes that I've made. And more jelly printing. More packaging with just little paper clips on top. More of those envelopes that I've made out of book pages. Just some fun little book page envelopes. And then you can see some more tags that I've made from that spice rack packaging and used some tulle with it. These are heavier cardboard, but you can journal on the back, or she could gesso the front and put a new image on it if she liked. It's been a real fun experience for me with texture and color and imperfection. I tend to be a perfectionist, so making these is definitely imperfect. Just a fun. I loved the ad. It was for Bragg's, different Bragg's products, and from a magazine, made envelopes out of them. And this was a discarded children's book from the library. I collected a few little neat things for her. They're really nice cardstock style things. And in the back of this envelope, I stuck a fabric page. And let me just show you what it looks like so that you guys, someone sent me a question about how to make them. It's just so easy. So what I did was I took 2 pieces of fabric. This one I just folded over a little, and the top folded it over, and you can't really see it, but I zigzag stitched on top before I put it together, and then just zigzagged all the way around. It's pretty forgiving. What you would do if you were going to then put it into your journal, you would glue the back, put glue on it, and then adhere it to the page. I found that thick designer tacky glue works really, really well. I'm sure you could use a hot glue gun too. I just stuck it inside of the paper bag pocket I made. She may want to put it in a journal of her own. And that was fun. And then on the back I glued some flowers. I kept this page the same. I just loved it. I thought it was just so fun. This is just a cool little paper bag and paper magazine embellishment that I made from just some bits and pieces of magazine pages that I'd cut up and used for other things and had them left over. I thought it was sort of a fun little thing. I hope you've enjoyed my Trashy Junk Journal flip-throughs, or my flowish style journal flip-throughs. It's been really fun. Made some tag charms again and put it on a paper clip. This is one other thing. Sometimes I find making journals, I don't have the right size bags for my journal. So I wanted to send her some paper napkins, and I was going to fold it in the journal, and then I kind of decided I liked the way it looked. I made a paper bag style pocket, which is just taking 2 pages and overlapping them. I actually sewed it in the middle here, and then I folded the back end up, and I cut pieces of the map off, or extra pieces that I had, and I zigzagged it. Makes like a cool little paper bag, and inside are some paper napkins. But that might give you an idea if you wanted to make a page like this, or even a journal cover like this using book pages. You may want to reinforce it a little bit more than the thin pages that it is, but this was a nice atlas page. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my flip throughs. I hope you guys try these trashy flowish journals. You can also join us on Facebook in Trashy Junk Journals. Anyway, thank you for watching.